Hey everyone, welcome to Bald Guy Money. On July 9th, in the midst of what the media was calling the new bull market on Wall Street, putting out articles and stories daily about which hot stocks you need to buy next, I told you all that I was selling my stocks and running to gold, which also included positions in silver and cash. Now, since I've published that video, I sold off a third of my stock holdings and have already started to DCA into gold and silver as they come down with the broader market. And I'm very happy I did that because just as I expected it would, the market has indeed started to correct. The Nasdaq 100, which was really fueling the stock market growth, is down 7.5% over the last month, with the S&P 500 down 4.3%. In addition to that, the situation at banks that I warned you all about on July 22nd, when I asked the question, is your money safer in gold and silver or in the bank? Well, that situation hasn't gotten any better at all. In fact, the week after I made the video, two banks failed: PacWest Bank of California and Heartland Bank of Kansas. And since then, ratings companies have even threatened to downgrade some of the United States' largest banks. And what this tells me is that big Wall Street institutional investors are already hedging themselves behind the scenes against some of the surprises that are waiting for us regular people down the road. And just as I mentioned in that July 22nd video when I showed you this, the signs warning us of an incoming recession and turbulence in the financial system are unmistakable at this point. And yet another sign of this economic storm that is headed our way, we had news that broke just this week of exactly how dire the economic situation is looking in China. Issues that I first talked about right here on this channel back in May, when I was telling you all that the Chinese government was paying YouTubers to speak positively about China and to fan the flames of dissatisfaction that many Westerners have with their governments right now. And just as I said in that video, which I received a lot of backlash in the comments about, by the way, the propaganda stories were just that. It was all propaganda. The only truthful elements to those stories were the ones criticizing Western governments for their destructive policies. And for those of you who watched that video, my main concerns regarding China and the potential destabilizing influence they could have on the global economy were: number one, the massive real estate bubble the country was in, best exemplified by the struggling Evergrande, which, by the way, filed for U.S. bankruptcy protection just this past week. And number two was the fact that the Chinese government is sharing less and less data about their economic performance, which clearly illustrates that there are issues in the country much larger than they want people on the outside to know about, like soaring unemployment in their youth population, which is another data point, by the way, that they stopped sharing just this past month after the number eclipsed 20% in the last reading that they shared. And as these issues start bubbling up to the surface, it's becoming increasingly clear that there will be consequences for the global economy as a result. Because China's attempts to fight off this economic downturn and right the ship, as we say in English, has so far met with nothing but failure. The yuan is rapidly devaluing. And that isn't good if you're a company that sells things to China, because your goods are now going to become more expensive for the average Chinese person to buy. And as large companies start to feel the heat from a decline in Chinese demand, people working for those companies could find themselves unemployed at some point over the next year or two. And when you pair those facts with the threat of inflation still looming around the world, despite praise from the mainstream media of how central banks have handled the issue, because they really haven't handled the issue, again, it becomes abundantly clear that now is the time to reassess your financial strategy, and that's why I'm making this video today. Because inflation is ultimately a function of money supply. And we see that creeping back up in the United States already, thanks to the current government's approach of print and spend. So, now that we've done that long recap, and I've hopefully illustrated to everybody out there watching that I know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about topics on this channel, I want to reveal 2 things I'm doing to position myself correctly right now, taking into account what's happening around the globe macroeconomically. And it all starts with buying silver and gold. Physical silver and gold give me protection against counterparty risk. If a bank fails, I still have it. If the governments of the world print trillions of dollars to prop up the system, which they will eventually do, by the way, the amount of gold and silver will not have changed that much, meaning there will be more dollars, more euros, more yuan chasing the same amount of gold and silver, which ultimately means that the price of those assets has to go up. And although I admit we can still go down a bit more from here on gold and silver, we are close to strong technical support levels, indicating the price could bounce soon from now, especially when you factor in the flight away from risk-on investments we are starting to see on the stock market. Now, the other thing I'm doing may surprise some of you, because I have been very bearish about mining stocks ever since I started this channel. And the truth is, I got that one right too. But that's changing now because I see underinvestment in mining as yet another catalyst that will push the price of metals up. In fact, I'm seeing major parallels between the way mining stocks are underinvested today and the way energy stocks were underinvested in 2020 and 2021, when everyone thought solar panels would power everything by 2022, without consideration given to how much time is needed to make a shift to green energy, and without consideration given to rising demands for energy. And with mining stocks hovering around levels that are almost as low as I think they can go, the downside risk on this is low, and the upside potential is quite big. Because with all the macro signs pointing at the price of metals going up in the near future, it's only a matter of time till the market recognizes the opportunity in mining, just as the market recognized opportunities in energy stocks, which are still doing well today. And for those of you who are curious to know exactly what mining stocks I'm buying, I published a video on Friday. It's on my Patreon. Link to join is in the description and pinned comment. You can find out exactly what companies I'm picking and why I'm picking them, as well as get access to 36 exclusive Patreon videos, my weekly newsletters, and purchase alerts. And now for this video's viewer question, which is actually going to be a little different this time around. And the reason is because some guys in my Discord shared this really great song. I am sure many of you have heard it already, called Rich Men North of Richmond by Oliver Anthony. And it inspired me to want to do something. So when I got a request from a young father named Tyler, who's been working his butt off, making amazing custom cabinet projects like the ones you see here, American-made, mind you, I said I want to share this young man's business on my channel, and hopefully we can get him some business. I want to be perfectly clear, this is not sponsored. He did not pay me to do this, but as I've said before, a pillar of the bald guy community is lending a helping hand when you can. So I want all of you out there to consider giving Tyler a call if you need something like this done in your house. The number is right here on the screen. I will also put it in the video description along with the website address so you can check out exactly what kind of amazing stuff that Tyler is doing. And if you want to make your home look better and help this young man who is a part of the bald guy community out, you can do both of them by contacting him. He is waiting for your call. So please, everybody in the Bald Guy community, if you're looking to revamp your kitchen, your bathroom, your home office, anything, and you need something nice, please consider giving this young man a call. He really would appreciate your business. And with that said, that's all for this video. I thank you all for watching, and as always, I'm wishing you a fantastic day ahead. Please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.